things are starting to get really concerning for the Dodgers. What we've been seeing over the past few weeks is no longer just a minor issue. It's become a full-blown problem that is affecting their chances as the regular season nears its end. Last night's game against the Philadelphia Phillies was a perfect example of just how fragile things have become. A 6-5 loss in extra innings might not seem like a catastrophic score on paper, but the way the game unfolded makes it clear that there are deeper issues that need to be addressed immediately. The Dodgers now find themselves 5.5 games behind Philadelphia for that crucial second spot in the standings. And with less than a fortnight left in the regular season, every single game is now a high-stakes battle. Watching the game was tough, and for anyone in the stands or watching at home, it was one of those matches where you just feel the frustration building with every pitch. The bullpen, which was supposed to be a reliable strength for this team, simply could not hold up under pressure. Each pitcher who stepped onto the mound seemed to falter at some point. Even when some performances looked solid at first, mistakes piled up and the momentum slipped away. The relief staff, which has been a point of pride for the Dodgers in past seasons, has been struggling in ways that are hard to ignore, and last night highlighted exactly why. The starting pitching was decent for stretches, but in baseball, a single moment can change the entire course of a game. One big hit, one double at the wrong time, and suddenly the team is on its heels. That's exactly what happened. The starter gave a strong performance initially, but a crucial double late in the game turned the tide in favor of the Phillies. The decision to leave him in for that extra inning became a focal point of the evening. It's moments like that where managerial choices are scrutinized heavily, and fans are left questioning why certain moves were made. The debate over leaving a pitcher in for too long versus going to the bullpen is something that has followed this team all season, and last night made it impossible to ignore. Offensively, the Dodgers did everything they could to stay in the game. They put up 5 runs and showed glimpses of the explosive batting that has made them one of the top teams over the past few years. The long ball was working, players were capitalizing on mistakes from opposing pitchers, and there were moments where it looked like the game could swing back in their favor. A home run in the ninth tied things up, giving the team hope that they could pull out the victory in extra innings. Yet despite these efforts, the Dodgers just couldn't finish the job. Key opportunities in the 10th inning slipped away, and the result was a heartbreaker for a team that needed every win they could get. What makes this situation particularly frustrating is that the offensive effort was there. There's no question that the Dodgers hitters showed up, scored runs, and made plays that should have put them in a position to win. Yet in baseball, offense alone is never enough. Pitching has to hold up, defensive plays need to be clean, and strategy has to be sharp. When any of these components falter, even a strong offensive performance can't compensate. Last night was a textbook example of this reality. The offense did its part, but the pitching breakdowns combined with managerial decisions that raised eyebrows ultimately handed the game to Philadelphia. The role of the manager in these moments cannot be understated. Decisions about who pitches, when to make substitutions, and how long to leave a starter in are all critical, and the margin for error is slim. Last night, some of these choices became points of contention. Leaving a pitcher in for an extra inning, using an opener instead of a traditional starter, and other tactical moves were debated immediately by fans and analysts alike. In the end, the results speak for themselves. A narrow loss that leaves the Dodgers in a precarious position as they approach the final stretch of the regular season. The bullpen struggles have been an ongoing issue, and while starting pitching has generally been reliable in other contexts, the inability to close out games has magnified every weakness. Relief pitchers entering in high-pressure situations are supposed to maintain composure, but what we saw last night was far from consistent. A single home run allowed, a poorly timed walk, or a hit at the wrong moment can undo all the work done by the starters. That pattern repeated itself, and it has been repeating itself for weeks now, eroding confidence both on the field and among the fan base. For a team that had high expectations at the start of the season, this feels like a pivotal moment. The Dodgers were expected to dominate, to secure a top spot comfortably, and to make a serious run in the postseason. Instead, the inconsistencies and strategic missteps have created a scenario where even making the playoffs feels less assured than it should. The offensive talent is undeniable, but talent alone isn't enough when every decision, every pitch, and every play is scrutinized and can swing the outcome. The matchup with Philadelphia highlighted the broader challenges facing the team. Every run mattered, every inning was tense, and every decision carried weight. The Dodgers had chances to take control and failed to capitalize. Late-game situations exposed weaknesses in both the bullpen and decision-making process, and the result was a game that fans will remember for all the wrong reasons. It was not just a single loss. It was a reflection of a team struggling to maintain its identity under pressure. Looking at the bigger picture, the Dodgers' position in the standings is now tenuous. Being 5.5 games behind in the fight for the second spot means there's very little room for error. The team is entering a stretch where every matchup counts, and any slip-up could be the difference between finishing strong or having to settle for a wild-card position. This adds pressure not only on the players, but on the coaching staff to make precise, effective decisions. Each game becomes a test of resilience, strategy, and execution, and there is no room for mistakes. The frustration among fans is palpable. It's easy to see why. The Dodgers have shown flashes of brilliance, but the inability to string together complete performances has created tension and doubt. Every pitcher who falters, every decision that backfires, and every late-game mistake compounds the feeling that this season is slipping through their fingers. With so few games remaining, the stakes are higher than ever, and the pressure is almost tangible for everyone involved. The Dodgers' offensive firepower remains strong, and moments of excitement are still there. The long balls, clutch hits, and aggressive base running all demonstrate that the team has the pieces to compete at the highest level. Yet, as the Phillies game demonstrated, offensive talent must be matched by pitching stability and strategic clarity. Otherwise, even the best hitters cannot carry the team alone. Baseball, after all, is a game of balance. Every aspect of the game, hitting, pitching, defense, and management, must work together to achieve success, and last night highlighted how fragile that balance can be. The bullpen issues are really where the heart of the problem lies. It's not just about a single bad inning or a momentary lapse. This has been a recurring theme that has haunted the Dodgers all season. Relief pitchers, who were once considered a cornerstone of the team's strategy, have struggled to maintain consistency when it matters most. Every time a starter exits the mound, the expectation is that the bullpen will preserve leads, keep games close, and give the offense a chance to win. Instead, what we've seen over the past few weeks is a series of performances that range from shaky to outright disastrous. Walks, poorly timed hits, and home runs allowed have turned winnable games into losses that leave fans scratching their heads. The frustration is understandable because the talent is there. It's the execution under pressure that has faltered. In the game against Philadelphia, this pattern was painfully clear. The opener strategy, which was supposed to create favorable matchups and manage pitch count efficiently, didn't work at all. The choice to bring in a relief pitcher instead of letting the starter go through a traditional start backfired, and the Phillies capitalized immediately. The moment the opposing team gets a leadoff double or a key home run, the pressure mounts exponentially, and the bullpen has to respond. Unfortunately, the Dodgers relievers haven't consistently risen to that challenge. Even when a pitcher appears to have control, one mistake can snowball into a situation where runs start to pile up and the margin for error disappears. It's a precarious position, and last night illustrated just how fragile the Dodgers have become in high-pressure situations. Managerial decisions have been another point of contention. The choice to leave a pitcher in too long, the use of openers, and other strategic moves have drawn criticism not because they are inherently flawed, but because the execution hasn't matched the plan. Baseball is a game where timing is everything, and a decision that might seem smart in theory can be disastrous in practice if the timing or execution is off. In the case of the Dodgers, yesterday's game highlighted how even minor miscalculations can have huge consequences. The starter who should have been pulled earlier was left in, a reliever was brought in at a less-than-ideal moment, and suddenly the team found itself in a position where it couldn't recover. It's not just about one game. It's a microcosm of the season's struggles with pitching management. Offensively, the Dodgers continued to show their strengths. The batters stepped up, hit home runs, and managed to bring the team back into contention multiple times during the game. The long ball, aggressive base running, and timely hits all displayed the offensive potential that has kept this team competitive over the years. The ninth-inning home run that tied the game was a perfect example of how the lineup can ignite hope in critical moments. Yet, even with the offense firing, the inability of the pitching staff to hold leads overshadowed those achievements. It's a harsh reminder that in baseball, scoring runs is only half the battle. Keeping the opposing team from scoring is equally important, and that has been the Dodgers' Achilles heel recently. The pressure is also mounting as the regular season draws to a close. Being 5.5 games behind Philadelphia isn't just a number. It's a reflection of lost opportunities and the urgent need to perform under stress. Every remaining game carries the weight of potential playoff implications. The Dodgers cannot afford mistakes, especially against strong opponents like the Phillies. Even small errors in judgment or execution can have outsized effects, and the team now finds itself in a situation where consistency is more crucial than ever. Fans, players, and coaches alike are feeling the tension because the margin for error has disappeared. Every pitch, every at-bat, and every managerial decision is under intense scrutiny. It's worth noting that the Dodgers have been here before. In previous seasons, they've faced adversity and found ways to rally, often relying on a strong bullpen and clutch hitting to turn the tide. But this year feels different. The inconsistencies in the relief staff, combined with questionable strategic decisions, have created an environment where momentum is difficult to maintain. Even when the offense performs admirably, the pressure on the pitchers can create a domino effect that results in late-game collapses. The balance that once allowed the team to dominate has shifted, and finding a way to stabilize it is critical if they hope to contend seriously in the playoffs. Looking at the bigger picture, the division race is far from settled. The Dodgers still have key matchups coming up, including more games against Philadelphia, and the 2-game lead over San Diego means that nothing is guaranteed. Each game becomes a test of endurance, strategy, and execution. While the team's offensive firepower gives fans reason to hope, the pitching and management issues must be addressed immediately. Otherwise, the Dodgers risk falling into the wild card round, which is far from the dominant position most expected at the start of the season. This is a team that invested heavily, made big moves in the offseason, and yet now faces a scenario where even making the playoffs comfortably is uncertain. The tension is compounded by the fact that baseball is unforgiving. One misstep can undo an entire game. One inning can determine the outcome of a series, and one decision can impact the team's playoff positioning. Last night's loss against Philadelphia is a perfect example of this. Every run counted, every pitch was critical, and every error, whether in judgment or execution, had consequences. The Dodgers' offense gave its all, but the pitching staff and managerial choices didn't deliver in tandem, and the result was a defeat that could have long-term implications as the regular season closes. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. The baseball world is buzzing with whispers that could reshape the balance of power in the National League. According to murmurs circling front offices and late-night clubhouses, the Los Angeles Dodgers may be preparing a stunning move to bring Juan Soto back to Southern California, a return that would electrify fans and terrify opponents. Nothing is official, of course, but insiders suggest the Dodgers have been quietly working behind the scenes, testing the waters and measuring what it would take to land one of the game's most dynamic hitters. The phrase making the rounds, "Soto back home," has set social media ablaze. While the Dodgers are no strangers to blockbuster signings, this particular rumor feels different. Soto's star power is undeniable, a left-handed bat with historic plate discipline and a flair for the big stage. Pairing him with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman would give the Dodgers perhaps the most dangerous lineup in modern baseball. It's the kind of fantasy that keeps rival general managers awake at night, wondering how they could possibly compete. Some speculate Soto himself would welcome the move. Though he has thrived on the East Coast, whispers suggest he has always held a soft spot for the West, where his presence could feel less like an addition and more like a homecoming. For the Dodgers, the motivation is clear. Their recent postseason disappointments have exposed the need for another transcendent bat, someone who can change a game with one swing and carry the team when the lights are brightest. Skeptics point out that a deal of this magnitude would demand prospects, money, and patience. But then again, when have the Dodgers ever shied away from bold gestures? The team's ownership has made a habit of flexing financial muscle, and Soto is precisely the type of generational talent worth the gamble. Whether this rumor evolved into reality remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. The baseball world is already tilting in anticipation. If Soto does indeed wear Dodger blue, Chavez Ravine will once again become the epicenter of the sport, a place where legends are expected and miracles feel almost routine. For now, it's just a whisper, but one that's growing louder by the day. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.